tonight on Evening.
I'm St. Brian in Seattle with one of our favorite actors and favorite winemakers, Kyle MacLachlan.
Thank you, Saint.
We're going to talk about winning wines and winning roles.
Stay tuned.
And you can bogey or even double bogey. But for $7, you can't go wrong at this Seattle golf course. Plus, don't be that person on the trail. A Northwest Guidebook author shares her hiking etiquette tips.
Have a nice hike.
Welcome to the show from Green Lake Pitch and Putt in Seattle. I'm St. Brian, and we are here to play a casual kind of golf with one putter, one iron, one ball, all on a course that's been around since 1947. Oh!
It's the 9-hole, par 3, 6-acre golf course that makes golfers at any level feel right at home.
Oh my God.
We have a low greens fee. You don't have to wear anything special. You can come as you are. We accept you as you are.
Amy Faulkner is the new operator at the Green Lake Pitch and Putt, and she's doubling down on the retro factor.
It's going in, watch.
She's also a bit of a golfer herself.
That was so good.
I'm not a golfer.
Christy Copeland and her family have come out on this sunny day. The boys swinging big.
I'm really proud of them. They're doing a good job.
Jake Bean, who lives in the neighborhood, just played 9 holes.
Today I got through in about 45 minutes, so not bad. You know, there's no backup, no traffic. You can hit 2 or 3 balls each hole, so pretty breezy.
I've got this.
And while I might have had a good moment or two,
Oh!
Nicely done.
Thank you. Well,
most of the morning was spent making near misses. Still, where better to lose yourself and lose some balls?
I know I have another ball here somewhere, but we can find that later. Definitely need to work on my short game. Green Lake Pitch and Putt is open every day of the week from 8 a.m. to dusk. Prices start at $10. If you don't have clubs, add $4. You get a bag, clubs, and 2 balls. All right, prepare to be charmed. Washington's very own Golden Globe Award-winning actor Kyle MacLachlan was in Seattle last week to talk about some of his most recent roles as a winemaker in Walla Walla and as honorary chair of the Auction of Washington Wines. We asked him to help us pair the best possible wines with some of his most famous TV and movie roles. Well, I'm wondering what would pair well with an atmospheric mystery like Blue Velvet.
Ooh, atmospheric mystery, Blue Velvet.
We've met up with actor Kyle MacLachlan at Esquin Wine and Spirits, Washington's oldest wine shop. Our mission, to find some damn fine bottles of wine.
Let's see, Washington Reds here.
I should have known Kyle would be up for a game of pairing wines with his best-known roles.
And let's just pick, oh my God, let's see here.
Born in Yakima, he's the founder of the critically acclaimed winery, Pursued by Bear.
For me, getting into wine was a number of different things. One is, obviously, I love wine. I've loved wine since I was in high school. Don't let anyone know that.
Kyle is honorary chair of this year's Auction of Washington Wines, an event he's promoting with his own honorary chair.
I look forward to raising a glass of wine with you this August in my honorary chair. Cheers!
This is the one time of year when you get to catch up. There's a lot of talk. It's very chatty.
Back to our Blue Velvet mystery. Kyle has selected a Syrah from Horsepower Vineyards in Walla Walla.
There's some flavors and profile things that are very interesting.
Very interesting would be an understated way to describe Kyle's roles directed by David Lynch, who first hired him for Dune with a congratulatory bottle of Lynch Page sent to his hotel room.
He told me later, he said that was his way of saying, you know, you're my guy for this role.
Oh, man.
And I was like, oh my gosh, you know. And from then on, we traded Lynch Page back and forth for many, many years.
For Lynch's Twin Peaks, which delighted fans by returning as a limited series in 2014, we asked for something with a lengthy finish.
Here's a beautiful Walter Scott Pinot Noir, wonderful aromatics, a little bit lighter. Something like this would go well with cherry pie.
This must be where pies go when they die. Tell me something.
1995's Showgirls wasn't a critical or box office favorite in its day, but it has since become a cult classic.
People are coming around to this movie.
Much to my chagrin.
To pair with an evening of Showgirls, Kyle is looking for something that sparkles.
Kind of learned about this. This is an English sparkling wine, Digby. I was just in London, in fact, and they are making some really nice sparkling wines.
And finally, to pair with Prime Video's Fallout, where the survivors of a nuclear blast live underground, a fine wine for long, cozy nights indoors.
Why don't we try the Ornellaia? This is something that you could savor for a long night, would really be enjoyable. And it would remind you of a beautiful place that no longer exists.
Our thanks to Kyle MacLachlan, actor, winemaker, and the most entertaining sommelier we've ever met.
Thank you, thank you.
That was pretty cool. The auction of Washington wine events all happened in mid-August in Woodinville. So far, they have raised $68 million for a variety of great causes, including Seattle Children's. For more information, head on over to our website at king5evening.com. All right, from Green Lake, we're going to head to Lake Union, where Jose has found a party.
Have you ever cruised in Lake Union with something that looks and feels more like a tiki bar straight out of Hawaii? Seattle Tiki Boat is the first of a kind in the Pacific Northwest.
What is a tiki boat?
Tiki boat is a fun pontoon boat that's themed tiki style. Anybody can party on this boat. We do a lot of bachelorette parties, bachelor parties. It kind of works for all occasions.
We're talking about a boat where you can party with friends? It sounds like my deal.
We do 2-hour time slots. You can rent the whole boat for a private event, and that's 18 people. The lake is beautiful. You can play your own music.
Talking about music, I think this boat will be perfect for some karaoke.
It could be an option.
Whether you're having a special event or just want to have fun with friends on the water, this boat for sure will do the job.
Cheers! All right, thank you, Jose. The Seattle Tiki Boat is $50 per person for a public sailing, or you can rent those boats for a private cruise.
Up next, Seattle's premier transgender cover band will take you back to the 80s. And hiking how-to. An expert shares tips on minding your manners on the trail.
Wow!
Local stories make a difference.
I want to check that out.
With the power to enrich lives, strengthen communities, and make us smile. Evening is made possible by Primera Blue Cross. Primera Blue Cross, always in your corner.
Open the door! Cam incoming!
Idris Elba is the British Prime Minister and John Cena the American President in the action comedy Heads of State. And they really do not get along until they both become targets of a ruthless foreign adversary.
Follow me, boys.
How are you alive? I just kept calm and carried on.
Heads of State is available on Prime Video starting Tuesday.
Welcome back to the show from Green Lake Pitch and Putt. That's a little hard. This is that time of year where everyone wants to go hiking in Washington State, which is why we thought this would also be the perfect time to go over some hiking etiquette.
Hi guys, my name is Tammy Asars. I'm a guidebook author for Mountaineers Books and an outdoors writer in general. And today we're at Tixu Lake at Mount Rainier National Park. And it's the perfect place to get a quick review on trail etiquette. So we're here at a spot where it's a really great idea to stay on the trail. The sign is obviously reminding us here because we're in a national park, but in other places you do want to be aware of your footprints and where you're walking. There's some absolutely gorgeous flowers blooming right now. It's kind of the peak of the wildflower season, and we just want to make sure we're doing our part to not disturb the natural vegetation. So this is a western anemone. It actually looks a little Dr. Seussy. It's like a bloom you can groom, and it would be awesome in a bouquet. But not the best idea because those sweet little seed pods need to regerminate and bloom again next year. So we'll let it be and admire it from afar, but it does look like 80s rock star band hair. Have you ever been on a narrow hiking trail and wondered when you meet another hiker coming down, who has the right-of-way? Well, in this case, I have the right-of-way. Technically, it's me because I'm going uphill and I'm huffing and puffing harder trying to get to the summit. This thing, I brought this Bluetooth speaker along today to say, please don't. We don't need it. We have the beautiful soundtrack of nature. When nature calls, don't be that guy. Instead, pack your toilet paper out with you or dig a cat hole at least 6 to 8 inches deep, at least 200 feet away from streams, lakes, and trails. Hi guys, have a nice hike. The main thing is we just want to keep these areas pristine for future generations and to keep them looking like this. But the #1 rule of all of this is to have fun. Mother Nature is magical and awesome.
All right, thank you, Tammy. I promise to not be that guy. You can find Tammy's book, Day Hiking Mount Rainier, at local bookstores. Well, it is the last day of Pride Month, so we thought we would celebrate with the Nasty Habits, Seattle's premier transgender 80s and 90s cover band. We caught up with them in the city where it all began, Port Angeles.
I'm Veronica Steed. I play the bass guitar for the Nasty Habits.
My name is Ginger Lee. I am the keyboard player in the Nasty Habits, and I do assorted percussion and background vocals.
My name's Rachel B. I am the guitar player.
I am Sophie Electra, and I am the lead vocalist.
What are words for when no one listens anymore?
I would say we're just a very energetic, hard rockin', mixed trans inclusive band that is driven to give a great time. We do the best we can to give our audiences a real party.
What I like about you, you hold me tight.
Esprit is a regional transgender conference that's been happening here in Port Angeles for several decades now.
7 or 8 years ago, when I was first coming to terms with the fact that I'm transgender, I remember looking around the web and I remember finding this band and seeing this band and seeing videos of the band and pictures and so forth. And I thought to myself, that's amazing that they can be themselves and go out and still play and still do what they do. So I've played in a lot of bands over the years, a lot of bands in Seattle, in and around Seattle and so forth, and I was worried that I wouldn't have much of a chance to play after coming out as trans. And so seeing this band was really kind of an inspiration. So when I got the call, I was like, really? The Nasty Habits, really? That's great.
Here in my car, I feel safest of all. I can lock all my doors.
This is 80s, 90s music.
Whip it. Whip it.
I don't care what gen you are. Everybody can rock to this music. Everybody should be dancing to this music, and we promise to make it happen.
1, 2, 3, it's easy to see, but it's not that I don't care, so.
They're amazing and fun and full of energy, and I book my Halloweens, my New Year's Eve, anywhere they're going to be is where I am.
We do that
and I
too.
drag them along with me because we dance and we go around.
Willingly. The last 16 years, we've been following them around the peninsula.
Yep. One of the things that I've seen over the years is that when we're out there being ourselves, it makes space for other people to join us as whoever they are. And that's all we want, is for people to be happy, be themselves, be nice to each other. That's the message, really.
Some wise words there. The Nasty Habits return to Port Angeles for concerts at the Pier on Wednesday, July 23rd.
Up next, some over-the-top garden inspiration from West Seattle. And later, when a getaway to Silver Reef Casino.
Welcome back to the show. Do you know what happens when you finally talk to that eccentric neighbor who lives down the street? Well, photojournalist Diane Lewis-Torrey does, and we're sure glad she stopped by.
We're standing in a place called Wonderland. It's actually kind of an outdoor installation, a museum of curiosities that are all recycled or contributed by the community. People leave things in the driveway and then they come back to see how I've put them together. It's kind of a collaboration. This has been a way for me to interact with people. A picnic set for squirrels. Being out here and working, feeling like I'm creating art. You know, you never know what all of your neighbors really think. And I'm sure that after I'm gone, there'll be a sound of a junk truck backing up. But they've been real tolerant.
I'd sort of call it an amalgam of chaos and color, but it's beautiful in a sense.
It's had a calming effect on the neighborhood. So I thought if I make this Wonderland and people take the time to look at it, maybe there is someone who reads the sign that says don't give up. Or maybe there's somebody who sees the sign that says inspire someone or to take the high road. This is where the magic happens. This is the Verkstad workshop, which means workshop in Swedish. You never know what people will bring. An alligator having a tussle with a doll. If they want to see dinosaurs wrestling with dolls and chomping on their legs and hands, I build it. What is beauty? And the notion of believing women, that's a pretty big message of mine. I really believe that your happiness can come from making other people happier. And I'm working on that. Because sometimes you can't find it in yourself. You can only find it when you give it away. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now.
All right, thank you, Diane. Monica's Garden is over there in West Seattle on the corner of Rutan Place and Southwest Edmonds. Is just about a block from California Ave.
Up next, a Mexican restaurant worth the road trip and how you can win a meal there, plus a getaway to Silver Reef Casino Resort. Now in our 39th season, Evening shares local stories that make our community shine. Thanks to support from PEMCO Insurance. PEMCO empowers the Northwest to prevent the preventable. Learn how at PEMCO.com. Portions of Evening sponsored by Silver Reef Casino.
Welcome back to the show from Green Lake Pitch and Putt. 9 holes can sure take a lot out of you, so I'm having an Arnold Palmer. Our next story involves a giveaway, so you're going to want to stick around. It's about a restaurant at a casino where every menu item is a sure thing winner.
There's a restaurant in Ferndale that's worth a road trip if you're craving a Mexican meal made with locally sourced ingredients.
The food is fantastic. It's authentic food.
The Cantina at the Silver Reef Casino recently remodeled, revamped its menu, and reopened its doors. And Chef Angelica Cortez wants guests to feel right at home.
And she created a good portion of these recipes, and they are authentic to some of her own family recipes.
The most popular menu items? The Cantina Grande Burrito, which comes smothered in queso, carne asada fries, and sizzling fajitas. Plus, every dish is a deal.
The folks from Seattle will definitely get a better price up here than they would down there, yes, absolutely.
Bring a friend and share a margarita at the Cantina's glowing blue bar, or a tequila flight served in a signature Silver Reef canoe. Take your chances at the casino if you'd like, but taking a drive for a meal at the Cantina is a sure bet.
The food is definitely worth the drive. I think the Mexican food or Mexican restaurant road trip is worth the drive to come up from Seattle to try this great food and great service. And come see us at Silver Reef.
I bet you're hungry now. Here's your chance to win a couple of meals at the Cantina and a stay and play package at the Silver Reef Casino Resort. One lucky winner and a guest will enjoy a luxurious one-night stay for two, $100 in free play, and a $50 dining credit at the Cantina. You must be 21 or older. Enter now at king5.com/Silver Reef for your chance to win. And that will do it for us from Green Lake Pitch and Putt. Thanks so much for watching. Here now are some of my best shots of the day. Get in the hole. We'll see you next time. Yes!